Students in Charleston County return to the classroom next week. I talk one-on-one with Charleston County School Superintendent Anita Huggins for a preview for the students and teachers for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. The weighted student formula, Superintendent, how many of those numbers do you see gaining for the minority groups?
So thanks for allowing me a second here to grab my computer. You asked earlier about the number of students. I was able to grab that number. 33,000 of our students are represented in one of those groups. Pupils in poverty, multilingual, and or special needs. Yeah. That's a lot, isn't it? It's heartbreaking. But if you look here, Quintin, and again, this is embargoed for the public, so we can't actually share the numbers. But with Quintin, I'm giving him a sneak preview. Look at here, Quintin. So across all three groups, significant gains, and here's reading.
Right.
Student with disabilities from 24 to 25. Multilingual, and pupils in poverty. Wow. And then you see the same increases here. Isn't it exciting?
Yes.
It is. Now, I've also got a breakdown by ethnicity. And again, this is embargoed.
Right.
But if you look at black and brown children last year, look at here, compared to black and brown children.
Wow.
Significant increases, see?
Wow.
Significant. That's reading. This is math. Same sort of thing. So we believe, again, teachers make a difference. They're doing the great work. But it's important in my role, Quintin, my job is really to give people the resources that they need to do their job. And we believe the WSF is significantly important in helping teachers and principals lead work that's meaningful and changes outcomes for kids.
And when you see those significant outcomes due to that particular growth, is it urban schools or is it rural schools?
It's all. Because if you remember, poverty touches everybody. Again, the numbers of pupils in poverty in Mount Pleasant in some of our schools are larger than some of our other schools altogether. So it's all schools that are seeing the growth in achievement with pupils in poverty, students with disabilities, and multilinguals.
Wow. Now, where else do you want to see that growth?
We want to see it across the board. I won't have been truly successful in my job, Quintin, until all students, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, to all students leave our system ready to do whatever they want to do next, which includes a certain level of proficiency in reading and math.
And I want to get back to that in just a second, but you obviously, this past couple of months have been a controversy over the constituent school board, and obviously that was dissolved by the state government. So what are the top issues that you and your team will look upon? Because obviously you have a hearing panel now. How many of those people are on that hearing panel?
That's a great question. So Dr. Coakley has staffed those. We have 2 of those hearing panels so that parents will not have to wait to be heard. And so we believe that we're well staffed to be able to address the needs that arise in discipline, with student discipline, that in an as expedited, manner as we ever have before. Then we also have systems in place, Quintin, to deal with student transfers and the drawing of attendance lines.
Where do you see those attendance lines being drawn next due to this growth?
It's a great question. So we don't have to do that often. We don't have to rezone often, but we watch to where there are new developments, like we're experiencing out in West Ashley, and we look to see if there are places that are overcrowded, if it warrants rezoning. And so the board doesn't often have to do that. They more often have to hear student transfer requests and student disciplinary appeals.
So this upcoming school year is going to start on Tuesday, as you indicated earlier.
Yes.
So where do students want to transfer to?
So it varies, Quintin. Sometimes what happens is a student may attend a school, let's say for their freshman and sophomore year in high school, and then the parents move. And the parents say, well, my child's attended that school for 2 years already, or 3 years, and we want them to remain. So they can appeal as a request to remain to the board. There's also situations where the constituent boards may have denied a request for a child, let's say, to leave West Ashley High School and go to Wando. And the parent says, well, I don't necessarily know if the board had all the information, so I'm going to appeal to the big board. So it can be transfers like that, where students or parents may request to transfer from one neighborhood school to another. And there are lots of different reasons that people make those requests, but that is a function of, it was a function of the constituent board, now a function of the Board of Trustees.
Do the trustees actually have or had training on this?
So we work with the trustees to ensure that they have knowledge of what they're doing. And we have hearing panels, as you've alluded to, who will receive training on how to conduct the hearing process. And then we have an internal panel set up that also monitors and manages transfers. And then our COO, Jeff Barowie, and his team sort of advise on the attendance lines based on a whole lot of different data, and are working with a lot of external partners.
Now, we spoke on the radio, on radio back in the spring.
For a while, too.
Yes,
it was nice. Thank you for hosting me that day.
That was really interesting.
Yes, yes.
A lot of moving parts there.
Lots of moving parts.
But you told me, obviously, when I asked the question about whether or not those people in that hearing panel will be recruited from the community, is that still in place?
It is, Quintin. Thank you for asking and circling all the way back on that. We made a commitment to doing that, and we did just that. So at least one member of both of those panels came from community. Dr. Coakley had a hiring panel and an application process, and folks were hired to be on those panels. And so we're really excited to be able to offer this service. We're going to monitor, though, to be very honest with you, very closely, make sure it's going well for kids and families. And if there are concerns, we want to hear about them.
Now, I did ask you this in the radio interview, but did you all bring over some former constituent school board members to be on this panel as well?
Great question, Quintin. I don't know that the names of those hearing panels have been released, but I will tell you that there is at least one constituent board member who applied for a position who was hired.
Wow. Are you actively recruiting more of those particular people?
We've kept a pool open in the event that folks aren't able to serve. So we told our board that we would make one of those positions, that community position, a pool position, so that we had a healthy number of people from which we could choose if the need arose, and we'll do that.
Now, coming up on the school district's semester, which is next week, how many issues of the school, this particular panel will be taking on right now?
Not many, Quintin. Not many. Fortunately, all kids start with a blank slate.
Yes.
Isn't that great for people? I mean, I really believe that in life. You know, grace goes a long way, and students start the year with a clean slate. And so there may be some residual hearings, which if there are, I'm not aware of them, but they won't be really busy right out the gate, Quintin.
Okay. And you talked a lot about hiring, and I know obviously there was a big controversy last year over Michelle Simmons and her becoming the chief academic officer. What is her status right now with the school district?
What is great for us is that Michelle continues her role as a chief academic officer, and she's taken on additional duties as a leader of the elevation zone. I don't know if you know too much about that yet, Quintin, so let me tell your viewers that 14 of our most needy elementary schools are housed together in the elevation zone, and our effort is really to use focused strategies to support students in the achievement and the improvement, quite frankly, of those schools. She joins Miss Jackie Haynes, who previously led the Acceleration Zone, Miss Quinetta White, who recently led the transformation efforts, and Miss LaShawna Harris will help lead that work with those 14 schools in partnership with other agencies to support kids. And that's what it's all about. As you know, Miss Simmons has a rich history leading schools as a principal and as a principal supervisor herself over the elementary learning community for quite some time. And so not only does she remain as a CAO, she adds that to her very full portfolio as well. She continues to manage the multilingual learning, our office that handles those supports, and our special ed department, which handles the needs of our special needs students. And so we believe that she can blend all of that support in very well to directly impact schools.